Welcome to the 3x5 News, Views, and Reviews scribbled on index cards. We get in and get out fast, as you know, so keep up. As a political issue, trans punches above its weight. That is, for something to involve so few people, it gets a massive amount of attention. It's a political triumph, if you can call it that Republicans turned this into a key issue in the election. Remember that ad, which aired over 15,000 times, that declared, quote, Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you, in one of his wildest claims ever. And that's really saying something, which he repeated many times. Trump said that transgender surgery was being performed in public schools. To wit, quote, your kid goes to school and comes home a few days later with an operation, end quote. How does that work? The school nurse does the operation in her office? Or the kid is sent to a hospital and without parental consent, doctors perform an operation? Of course, his believers don't believe that. Well, some do. But I guess the rest just love his tall tales and see it as kind of a, you get the idea kind of thing. What really presses their buttons, though, is trans participation in sports. That is, women who were previously men competing with women. Parents hate it when their children are defeated in sports by a trans athlete, though I imagine they might have different feelings if a good trans athlete is on their kid's team and helping it win. Things got real in February when the U.S. Department of Agriculture notified Maine Governor Janet Mills, she who once told Trump, see you in court, that it had decreed a Title IX review against the University of Maine with over $100 million in federal grants in jeopardy. Title IX is intended to prevent sexual discrimination in education. One of the provisions is equal opportunities athletics for boys and girls, and I guess the Trump administration maintains trans makes the playing field unequal. To add insult to injury, the Department of Energy began rolling back all of Maine's federal K-12 funding to the tune of $250 million this year. Bear in mind, transgender people make up a tiny fraction of all athletes. In December 2024, NCAA President Charlie Baker testified that he knows of fewer than 10 transgender college student athletes among 510,000 athletes total. We know that conservative and religious types think it is just not natural. Zooming in, I want to ask why it is such a big deal for straight men. As a man, ChatGTP says, quote, in some cases, people react with hostility because trans identities provoke internal questions about their own identity, beliefs, or place in the world. And rather than explore that, they lash out. End quote. Rather than explore that. Here is what I know. When men see a trans woman and feel attracted to her, it makes them scared that they might be gay, and they become enraged. There is no denying it. Some trans women really are stunning. I would submit that whether or not you can deal with this is a reflection of the degree of fear that you or a part of you that might be attracted to men. God forbid